Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's continue our game of the First Descendant running on PC. I guess we should at least put her on one of the new outfits. I know, it's sort of like Daya in the back and a washcloth in the front? I don't know. Clearly all the fan designs were rather fond of cheeks. Because they're all a bit cheeky, huh? I guess it is the thing that you see the most in the game. Oh, I need more of these. I think I always need more of these. Void Vessel. Why? Gulch. Well, before we get into that. Defense skill cooldown, singular boost. Okay, well, I wouldn't say that's great. Singular crit max shield. Okay. Again, not great, but not terrible necessarily. Crit, 82%. HP. These are the absolute worst. Crit singular. No. Crit MP Tech. I don't even think I'm a tech user with this Luna. Range shield MP. HP MP singular duration down. Huh. 7% less duration. Yeah, I don't know about that. Crit singular non. Cooldown, range, tech is down. Is that it? Last set? Defense, non-skill cost. Tech, range, and tech. That one's still better. Well, nothing I want. What a surprise. I did get to spend a whole bunch of materials, though. I guess that's great. Yeah, this roll system is pretty rough, that's for sure. It's like, yeah, I want to use them, but just so often they're just not good. What does this give you? Gives you duration, range. Oh no, sorry. Gives you shield, additional skill power. Oh, 813 by skill power. Oh, I guess that's not bad. Yeah, I mean, sure, I generally don't play online multiplayer that much, but, you know, TFD, for me, TFD is the exception. What do I have now? Crit? Crit and cooldown. I mean, that's really good. Whereas I'm like not interested in Marvel Rivals. But that's okay. They make games for different folks and different tastes, you know? I mean, that's ultimately a good thing. Man, I was really hoping to have something to use. Went through all that trouble, and I mean, nothing that I want. Overwatch? Not super duper into Overwatch either. The only one of those online team games which I liked are Rainbow Six Siege and then the offshoot Rainbow Six Invasion, I think it was called. I mean, that's still currently running. I like the Capcom Dinosaur game that was online. That was a team shooter. Most of the time, I don't like team shooters because people on the internet generally tend to be crappy people. And so when you're playing a team game and you need to use the microphone for communication, it's just a very unpleasant experience to me. Yeah, any team game that requires me to talk to my other teammates, I'm just like, and then playing with just public people, right? Not just playing with just my friends. And that really drags the experience down. It sours me on the game. That's why, like, theoretically, I like Counter-Strike, but then I don't like the people that play Counter-Strike. Right, I like the idea of Overwatch until I join a public party and talk to the people that play Overwatch, and then I stop liking Overwatch. Present company excluded, of course. I'm sure if we all played together, it would be just fine. I mean, like a game like this. I mean, I'm sure you don't have. I'm sure you have some friends, Neil, but well, you can't think of them right now. But like a game like this, where it is, yes, it's online multiplayer, but it's PvE, right? So you don't really need to have like you could turn on your mic with this game. You absolutely could, but you don't need to, right? Because if people are just playing normally, if they're doing what they normally do as a player character, then you don't necessarily need to have a real coordinated effort. It's not that kind of game. So that's why this is fun to me. Yeah. Well, you're still young though. I mean, I think if you have a chance to, I don't know. Are you in like a small city? I get the impression that you're not in a big city necessarily. Like, I totally understand it if you can't find like enough people to relate to, if you're not necessarily surrounded by like a bunch of people. Like, people in the country tend to have a harder time with real solid friendships than people in the city, just because of, you know, the chances, right? More people you run into, then the higher the chance that you run into somebody that you like. Like, if I were to live in Eastern Oregon, you know, I'd live in West Oregon, where there's actual people and not just cows and sheep. Like, the people that I know who live in just the farming towns, I mean, they're much, much, much different than the people that live in the city. Okay, so you're not necessarily doing a lot of socialization when you leave home. I mean, that's kind of a tough thing to solve if you have no outlet to go meet other people, right? If you don't go to cafes and you know, you're not going to, well, I wouldn't say like the library. I mean, you're supposed to be quiet in the library, but that's why you broke up with the teacher. Yeah, I mean, I don't like to have an answer for you other than to try to find some sort of venue where you're going to be around other people and meet them. I mean, that's where the thing is that you have to put yourself out there, you know, you really do. Like, people aren't going to just necessarily walk up to you and be friendly. I mean, there is a little bit of a trick to that in how you approach people, whether or not they'll just be friendly with you right off the bat. I mean, that took a while for me to learn how to do that because, you know, when I was growing up, I was really, really shy growing up. I really didn't even want to be around people necessarily. I find them really bothersome. But now, you know, I do enjoy the company of others. I don't enjoy everyone, you know. I mean, if I'm going to a bar and I'm hanging out, you know, if there's, you know, 30 people in the bar, I probably don't like 12 of them. You know? But that does leave me with, you know, the other, you know, 16 people where I can have a good time with. Yeah, but it's really a matter of if you get out there and you run into enough people, then you're just going to naturally get a crap load of friends, and you're going to be more comfortable with other people who have like a lot of friends in their friend group. They'll introduce you, and you know the whole thing rolls over. Now, that's only advice if you think it's a problem. Like if you think it's a problem that you don't have like a bunch of friends, and you want to have a bunch of friends, then that would be the way to go about it. If you're the kind of person where, you know, I don't need a lot of friends, and it's not a problem if I don't have friends necessarily, then, you know, if you're happy the way you are, then you don't need to change. If you're not happy with how you are, I mean, you're old enough to make changes if you want to make them. It may not be easy though, like they may be hard. It took me a long time to really get to the point where I could just talk to anyone. That's it. Because before I just did not want to talk to people. I think there's also a certain period where like somebody's differences aren't super offensive. And I think that's the tough thing, is like if you're surrounded by your own thoughts all the time, then and you don't feel like different thoughts and people who have different opinions are good, then that can really harm you in your ability to be able to relate to people. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I hate to say it, but you just got to go out there and be awkward. Eventually, you'll stop being awkward if you're out enough. It's like anything. It's like it's like practicing anything. I mean, the first time you practice something, you're not going to be good at it. I mean, nobody is. Nobody's good at something the very first time they do something. You know, that goes from like the best football player to, you know, Olympian weightlifters, right? I mean, the more you do it, then the better you get. But again, I'm only saying that because if you think it's a problem. If you don't think it's a problem and you're happy with where you are, then yeah. I don't think people necessarily have to be a certain way, like, or act a certain way. Oh yeah, hey man, I hear you. Like if you're afraid of rejection, and that can feel like it's what do they call it, paralyzing. It can feel like it's like a social paralysis. But I would say the rejection is also part of how you learn how to be accepted. Because I tell you, I mean, certainly if you like go through like all the comments that I ever get, I'm certainly not accepted by 100% of the people, right? And that's just being online, right? Not even necessarily in real life. And, so, and in real life too. Like if I go someplace, then I may run into a party or a social get together where I only talk to one person. Yeah, and it may be the person I brought with me. I've done that before with like my friends who kind of run in different social circles. Like they'll hang out with people who are more athletic or more social or maybe more just stuff that I wouldn't necessarily like have a relation to, wouldn't necessarily be like super familiar with their world. But the more people you talk to, then I think the more you learn about more common topics that everybody can talk about, and that's where you become more social. It is a learning process. Some people naturally learn how to be social, how to make small talk, and then how to find the one or two things that you can start a conversation with, and then move into another conversation and link all that stuff together. Some people are natural at that, but I think a lot of us have to work at it. And some of us have to work really hard at it. I mean, it's just kind of how it is. You don't like posting your pic on social media? I get that. I don't like it either, but unfortunately I do have like here, I just found that if I had the camera on, then people were more relatable, right? If it was just a disembodied voice, and people gave me this feedback too when I was doing this, is that the disembodied voice is okay, but just seeing somebody just makes a difference. Makes the connection more real. And I always say that, in my romantic relationships, I think every girlfriend that I've had, at least in my mind, has been a supermodel, right? So, I mean, and I'm not a handsome guy. I'm not like a tall guy. I'm not particularly well built. I mean, I go work out, but I'm not in the top 10. I'm not even in like the top maybe 20% of the guys that work out. But you can present things other than how you look. And how you look is just like one step in the many steps that you take. And no matter how awkward you think you look, or how or maybe unattractive in some way, there's always going to be somebody out there that goes, "Hey, man, you're all right." I was like, "Yeah, you look pretty good." To me, it's like weird. It's also weird when somebody gives me a compliment, because like all my life, I was kind of like the fat, ugly kid, and I'll never stop being the fat, ugly kid. I'll never kind of get over somebody giving me a compliment and me thinking it's sarcasm. I think that'll always stick with me. Some people call that being humble, but that's just me just being used to being picked on, I guess. Maybe saying it that way. But now it's kind of a strength, because I can just kind of lay into myself and be more relatable. Oh my god. Yeah, it's weird that you think that I'm more of a playboy. I think it's just sometimes, like, I've had a very interesting life, and I've had, like, playboy instances. But like 9 times out of 10, I usually, I guess I do date like more social people who are more outgoing. Outfit on Haley. Everything looks good on Haley. That's one of the things about Haley. I know. I wish it wasn't like a jerk thing to do, but like, like I said, I've had. I like don't have like a ton of girlfriends, but all the girlfriends I've had, they've been pretty hot. I've been very lucky. Thankfully, personality does mean something, even though it's a bit of a cliche. But see, I think that's just an indication of me just practicing a lot. That you think I'm like more promiscuous, right? But I would say, Nave, don't feel too down about it. I think a lot of us kind of go through this period in our time where we're not really sure how to present ourselves and be relatable. I think that really is just practice. I don't think there's any advice I could any real advice I could give you other than put yourself out there, be around some people. If it's a little awkward, let it be awkward. It's fine. You'd be surprised how accepting people are. Of course, I don't know how it is in Germany. Maybe life is different in Germany, different enough where you're not necessarily going to get that same vibe. Oh my god, this is the bad thing about Luna. She is so slow. I'm dealing with two freaking beignets who I will never ever catch up to. Yeah, see, me and Blue. I mean, there are definitely times where I'm just like I don't really feel good about myself, But I do take those days in stride. And I think there's just a point in time where you just have to just not care about what people think. That takes a long time to develop. I mean, not care what they think, but not be a sociopath about it. You know what I mean? I mean, not care to the point where it doesn't affect you in a bad way. Not care like I would be okay with, running somebody over with a car. Not that kind of don't care about something. Please at least have some empathy for your fellow human being. I think that goes a long way. Yeah, see, you got a compliment. And from somebody that you were interested in, at least for a little while. See, the way you describe yourself, Naf, like, I don't think those are any bad qualities. Yeah, sounds like you have a hard time taking compliments, too. Which, again, that is practice. That is very much you being used to somebody saying, I like you, or I like what you are, or I like the way you look, in their way. And not everybody says it the same way. Yeah, Nave's German. I've read enough broken subtitles to at least get a grip on what I think somebody says. Sometimes I get it wrong, but Did we not get everything? Oh, okay. Yeah, even now, if somebody gives me a compliment, again, I grew up as like the fat, ugly kid, and so if somebody gives me a compliment, I think they're being sarcastic. Like even if somebody's like genuinely like, "Hey, you look good today." You know, my first thought in my head is, you know, fuck you. This is the best I can do. You know, why don't you lay off? Still haven't quite got over it, but you know, I hope at someday I will be able to accept a real compliment and not just think somebody's trying to insult me. Girls have never told me I'm ugly. Oh no! Oh no! I have had plenty of women who have told me. Maybe they don't say ugly. They may not use that word. Well, sometimes they use that word. But yeah, I've had plenty. You know, I mean, my win ratio versus my lose ratio is very bad. However, that being said, when I do win, I really win. Yeah, I used to actually kind of think it. I used to think it was just like the area I live in, where you know women are kind of a little more cruel. I mean, they speak their mind. Maybe is the better way to say it. To me, I actually think that's better. I think it's better if somebody speaks their mind and is like really honest with how they think and feel about you, because then you're not like misled about anything. Like I think if people could be like 100% honest with each other most of the time, then the world would probably be a better place. But at the same time, like if you're a little bit too honest with folks and you don't care about their feelings at all, then that's just called being an asshole. That's essentially what an asshole is, right? It's a fine balance. It's a very fine balance. Oh, as I said, I like a good majority of life. I mean, I heard lots of not compliments. I would only say in the last maybe 20 or 25 years, maybe 20 years, that's kind of turned around for me. But that really had a lot to do with me just working out and having more confidence. That's why I do give people that advice. It's like if you're not feeling really good about yourself, then you know, start working out, start running, start eating right, start doing the things that you see like other attractive people do, and then that also shows in your behavior and personality. Right? I mean, people get a sense of that. If you're really, really confident with yourself, then they want to hang out with you more. That goes for us ugly people. You know? I mean, us ugly people like people that are really confident and handsome too, or pretty. You know? I mean, we like it too. You know, so it's not like we're attracted to like somebody that's like really down all the time, or never says anything, or just stares at you. You know, I mean, we don't like that either. So if we're doing that, then you know, you can understand why that would also be a turn off to somebody else. Yeah. And I would say that if you're, I'd say if you're like looking at somebody else and you think like the grass is greener, essentially that's kind of what you're saying. It's like, well, like the grass is greener on the other side because, you know, the girl I like, well, she doesn't like the kind of guy, well, the kind of guy that she goes for is not the kind of guy that I am. And I think what you'd have to do in that case is like really look at what you like in a person, because in that situation, in my experience, that's really more of a like a lust more than love mechanic, right? If you go, well, I really like blonde girls that are tall and have, you know, thin waists, and who dress cute, you know. I mean, if that's the kind of thing that you're looking for, then that oftentimes doesn't really have much to do with what would make you happy, right? I mean, what would make you happy is if you have a girl that would be, you know, really loving, cares about what you think, you know, has a good conversation with you, and that isn't necessarily going to be somebody that has a supermodel look, right? Or maybe it is somebody with a supermodel look, but she might be dating somebody else, and you know, that's her right and privilege to do that. You know, I mean, nobody owes us anything. If we're out looking for somebody to date, I mean, they don't owe us any affection, and we don't owe them any affection. It's only when you both meet at the same time, at the same place, and happen to like each other. That's when it actually matters. But up until then, if that girl that you liked isn't into you, I mean, she doesn't owe it. She doesn't owe it to you to like you. What you can do is you can up your odds by just presenting yourself in a really good way, and then you'll find somebody else that does like all the things that you are. Well, and I think you might suffer from a bit of anime. We call it the anime main character syndrome, right? You know what I'm talking about? Or like the main character in anime is maybe surrounded by girls, and he doesn't really understand, you know, when he meets ones that like him. You know what I mean? It's like the main character is like so clueless he doesn't get it when somebody really likes him, like even though she's kind of giving them the sign, right? I think that might be something to consider. I am very guilty of that. I'm very, very guilty of somebody giving me the signs and just having absolutely no idea that that's what's happening at that moment. I've had quite a few women approach me later, you know, after I've broken up with somebody, tell me that they had a crush on me. I was like, oh, I thought you were just being nice. I'm sorry. I mean, you should be happy it didn't work out. Once you talk to that girl I broke up with, you know, maybe you'll feel differently about me. People are very complex, you know. I mean, I don't think there's like a really good way to figure anybody out unless you just spend a lot of time with them. I mean, my advice always with exes is that exes are exes for a reason. and you got to be able to move on. Like, I think the idea of having somebody that you're already familiar with, you know, get back with somebody that you're already familiar with. I think the idea is appealing, right? Because then you're shortcutting a lot of the dating scene, having to figure somebody out and going after, you know, date after date. But then after you settle in again with your ex, then all the things that made you break up, they're still there, right? It's like they don't go away. And so now you're back in a relationship where all the bad things are still bad, but then they become worse because, you know, both of you might be expecting that the things that you didn't like, you're not going to do anymore, right? I had this is like the problem I had with, the problem that my mom had with my dad, right? So my mom was always expecting my dad to change in some way, even after 40 years of marriage. That somehow, you know, he was doing things that drove her crazy because he knew it was driving her crazy, and he was doing them to drive her crazy. When in reality, Dad was just very clueless about what Mom wanted and how she felt about things, and he wasn't doing it to be mean. He was just doing it because that's the person that he was. And I think that's how exes are. Like, exes are basically things that exist, or people that exist that you have like a couple of good relationships with, a couple of things that you can relate to. But ultimately, in the end, what it really means is that if you broke up, then there was something fundamental in there that just wasn't going to work. Oh my god. I'm a moron. I'm not doing my shield recharge enough. I know we turned this into a just chatting session. But I think it's good to talk about these things, especially if you're kind of in the middle of figuring out who you are and how to present yourself to other people. I think it'd be challenging if you're surrounded by people who like give you a lot of negative input too. Like a lot of these online influencers who just like love to complain about how, you know, men or women are really shitty and they don't deserve your time and you should hate everybody. I think those are the worst kind of people that you should never listen to, you know, because then they give you like this real skewed outlook on what a person really is like, and they kind of get you thinking that somebody is like intentionally being what's the word, being like antecedent, right? Being somebody that's just intentionally ruining your life just by thinking of the way they think and existing. It's like that's really kind of not how people work. And I hate to see that. I hate to see that trend where you know, somebody tries to convince you that, you know, the evils of the world are all because you know, everybody thinks a certain way, and just not how it works. And I also think that like a lot of influencers really talk about, they really straw man arguments, right? They just talk about a person that doesn't really exist. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I don't know if I would say to myself that my my ex has a better boyfriend than I was. Like, I wouldn't say that necessarily to myself. I'd say she has like different choices. Because better is very much a relative term. Myself for an AI girlfriend? Well, you know. I mean, an AI girlfriend might look like Raven from Stellar Blade. In which case, you know, an AI girlfriend wouldn't be a bad idea. So Raven's my girlfriend? Oh. I may not need real women, if that's the case. I kid real women. Please don't come at me. So if there is a real woman out there that looks like Raven and maybe has that kind of attitude, I wouldn't say no to that. Ah, god damn it. Being a moron. Thank you. I normally don't die, I swear. I'm just talking and playing at the same time, you know. Not smart enough for that, to do that. Oh my god, what the hell am I doing? Yeah, you having daughter, it does sort of make it a little bit harder. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But yeah, this is my attitude. If mom and dad broke up, then I think it's better that mom and dad not be together versus mom and dad staying together and having the absolute most terrible marriage. Because like it's one thing to have grow up as a kid without living with their natural parents. That's one thing, but it's another thing to be a kid and live with parents that hate each other. And I honestly do think having parents that don't like each other and being raised like that, I do think that's a worse situation. Because, you know, then you're passing on like the worst kind of relationship as an example to your kids, and now your kids think that that's how relationships should work, where people are not happy with each other. And again, case by case basis, but that's just what I've run into when I've run into parents that stuck together for their kids, and kids just being kind of miserable, like learning miserable things. Whereas, you know, parents that, you know, maybe they broke up and maybe they did find a better partner, and that partner's going to work out better for them and for the kid. I mean, I'm not necessarily that is going to be true for you, Nayef, right? Maybe whoever your ex-girlfriend finds out is not going to be as good. You know, there are just a lot of things that you can't have control over. Hard to accept, right? Especially when you have another kid. When you have a kid, and you're worried about them, how the world's going to treat them. But I don't know. I mean, it's a tough situation no matter what. Oh, why do I have this gun? Alright, I'm not sure what I was doing when I equipped this weapon for some reason. Yeah, sorry. I am actually with blue on this one. Online dating is bullshit. Just because people aren't required to be who they really are online. Then you date them and find out that they're nothing like what they say they are, or maybe their idea of who they are and the way they describe themselves is not accurate. And that's true of men and women. I mean, men and women both behave the same way in online dating apps. Actually, I feel bad about this, but like one of my ex-girlfriends has been talking to me recently. I haven't talked to her in like 10 years, and she has a much different life than when I was dating her, and she's like, yeah, I date with Facebook dating, which I didn't even know there was such a thing. I didn't even know Facebook had a dating app. And so, like, the only problem with Facebook dating is that most of the guys that want to answer your ad that click on your profile, they're either ex-cons, they have they're unemployed, or they have criminal records regarding sexual assault. And I was like, really? I was like, yeah, that's the guys who answer Facebook ads. I'm like, I would probably give up if I ran into more than one or two of those. So yeah, oral online dating is, I wouldn't suggest it. I would like take a train every day to another city rather than, to meet new people rather than go through online dating. Which I have done, by the way. Just because I felt the dating pool wasn't good enough in my city. But it just turns out I was just being narrow-minded, and that was actually my fault. Yeah, my advice is always let X's be X's. I mean, they got their own life, you got yours. You do have a kid between you, but don't make it weird, I guess is what I should say. Okay. There are lots of other women, and you're going to run into lots of other women that are going to love you more than your ex ever will. I can pretty much guarantee that. Especially in Germany. If you were like in like Ohio or Kentucky, yeah, I could maybe see you, maybe being a little more frustrated. The pool there often only has a family tree which has just the tree trunk and no branches. I'm sorry, Naya, but that does sound weird. It does sound weird to have an account just to check on your ex. I mean, it's a little weird. I'm gonna be honest with you. But all the more reason to go out and meet new people. Like, I do get why people do it, though. I mean, it's not like I don't understand. But my thing is, let X's be X's. I mean, the thing is, once you do find a girl that you like, then the idea of the X disappears. Except for sharing the kid. I mean, obviously, you need to still see her and share responsibilities with her with your daughter. But I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten my ex girlfriends. In fact, pretty much every time, because I've always found somebody that has loved me even more than the last girlfriend. Or, at the very least, love me in a different way that didn't drive me crazy. It drove me crazy for other reasons, but not the same reasons. Which, to me, that's a net benefit. You know, if I can find the ex-girlfriend, or if I can find the next girlfriend that doesn't make squeaky noises every time she chews, I think that's good. And I will gladly take that over continuing to date that ex-girlfriend. And that one is a true story. You wouldn't think it would be a big deal until you heard the squeaky noise every time you're eating together, and it's just like, I can't do this. Call me shallow, but that is gonna drive me crazy. How many girls have I dated? Oh, many, unfortunately. I'd say the only ones that I've called girlfriends, I mean, that's like maybe 12. Alright, and I'm 50. That's kind of a low number. Low number for somebody that's like 50, 51. Or maybe that's a high number. Maybe somebody considers that a high number. But yeah, again, as I said, my wins to loss ratio is very high. Mostly those are losses for girlfriends, but when I've won with a girlfriend, I mean, it's always been like a really great time until it wasn't. Right. I'm sure if you ask my ex-girlfriends, they would probably say the same thing. Yeah, he was great until I found out who he was, then had to leave him. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of you just putting yourself out there and dating more girls, and then I mean, I think your attitude will start changing. And also how you present yourself to the next girl, the next girlfriend will also change. Because there is something about somebody that is like really happy and content with their life. They sort of exude happiness that's really attractive. So if you find that place where you're happy where you are, then people are naturally just going to be attracted to you. I mean, it's just the thing that happens. That's why they say that, when you're, when you find a girlfriend and you're dating, all sorts of women will be interested in you that weren't before. I mean, that's the reason. It's because you're in a happy place, and so they also see that you're in a happy place, and they want that happiness too. Only one for you, Blue? Oh, I guess I'm the slut of this group. Well, sorry, guys. Okay, well, maybe compared to both of you guys, then maybe I am more promiscuous. But I think probably between the three of us, I also like women that are maybe a little on the outside of the normal scale. Like I said, I don't want Eve, I want Raven. Because I just find Raven way more interesting. Well, maybe you can understand why I'm giving you the advice that I'm giving you. I guess I've just had like a lot more experience. And also, I guess I'm pretty open to even people who are kind of outside my, like my ideal candidate. Because I'll just go on a date. If somebody says yes, I'll just go on a date, even if I'm like not necessarily interested. Like I may find something interesting about them if I just go on that date. A lot of times that's true. A lot of times I'll find something interesting, and maybe it doesn't work out in the end. Maybe there aren't enough interesting things to justify a relationship. But again, I never really consider that a negative. Having something that doesn't work out to me is just experience for the thing that does work out in the future. Oh, I think my only problem with dating advice is that it's all bad, right? Right? I mean, the advice I'm giving you might be bad for you, because it is very much individual. That's why I'm saying, it's just kind of my experience, and my attitude and behavior, and the kind of women that I like. Which may not be the kind of women that you like. Like we may have very different tastes, right? You may take my advice and go, man, I am talking to more girls, but I hate them. Oh, sorry. I would probably like them. It's funny now that you mention it. I guess I do have this impression that maybe I'm a bit of a player. My other friends think that too, and I'm just like, you guys have seen all my girlfriends. Why do you think I'm a player? I only date one girl at a time. Not like I have like a bunch waiting around for me. Maybe it's because they date significantly less than me. I must seem like I have game. When in actuality they don't know like all the failures that I had to get that one girlfriend. They only see the cute girl that managed to say yes. Not the 6 or 7 other girls that said hell no. I don't know. I just like people that are not on the normal spectrum, I guess. Like I just find people that are not vanilla more interesting. I think a lot of that stemmed from the time that, like, I had a roommate that was adult dancer, and so a lot of times I would drive her to work, or I would like meet their friends like after work. And I think that's when I kind of realized that I just like people that are weird, that are not very conservative. You know, I mean, I just like people that are. That maybe express themselves a lot differently. Yeah, I actually knew her before she was an adult dancer. And then, you know, we met later on in life, and you know, she needed a place to stay, and you know, I had extra room, so it sort of made sense at the time. I mean, that's why I like I have the attitude that I do about like sex work. Like I don't find it like a disrespectful job. Like a lot of people kind of poo-poo on somebody that's working in that kind of field. And you know, after talking with a lot of girls that work in that field, I mean, there tend to be better people than most people who really hate adult work. You know, they have really fascinating stories to tell you. Usually, they're just like really good, interesting people. You know, they just happen to show their bodies for a living. Yeah, see, I mean, those girls never wanted to date me. As fascinating as I found them, as much as I love to talk to them, I mean, you know, none of them wanted to hang out with me. I mean, I wasn't hot enough for them, you know. But you know, again, that doesn't mean that I hate them and their profession and what they like and don't like. It just meant that it just wasn't something that was ever going to work out. Yeah, like I said, I have stories. I have a lot of stories about my life, which are probably not good for a channel where the public can have access to. This is my problem with like YouTube and Twitch, and really all these social medias. Companies is that like you know, they've got to appeal to every age group, and so the content that they're looking for, that they want to promote, are for, you know, anywhere from 2 years old to, you know, 200 years old, right? And so that's the kind of content that YouTube will promote, and I actually don't have that kind of content. Like, there's a lot of things that I talk about which, you know, you probably shouldn't have your kids ever hear in their lifetime. Not until they're well into adulthood, and there's no real venue for that. There's no place that I could talk about stuff that actually is for adults, and not necessarily adults like talking about, you know, sex and nudity and that sort of thing. I mean, not that kind of adult. Just adult, like a mature conversation. There's no platform that exists for that. So, you know, the gaming's fun, of course. I love gaming. But I do wish that there was a way that I could just filter out, like, all the people that are underage and just talk to people that were mature. Like, I wish that was a thing. Because I'm the opposite of what YouTube wants. Like, YouTube wants, you know, the kid that opens presents. They want to promote people that do that kind of content. You know, they want to promote like people that pull pranks on strangers, and That's not who I am. Like I would never. Like, that's not the content I care about. I care about somebody talking about the time that they, you know, found an alligator on the side of the road, and one of their friends wanted to take it home and keep it as a pet. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I want to talk about. Not adult, like naughty stuff, but just things that adults would do that wouldn't necessarily be good for kids. Which is a true story, by the way. I'll tell that story someday. I thought it was gonna be like Pornhub and X videos. Like I thought they were gonna have that kind of content, but like Pornhub and X videos is strictly horny material. Like you can't do anything there that's not horny, you know. And you know, I got a lot of horny material, but I also have material that's not horny but is still adult, you know. The funny thing is, like, OnlyFans was trying to do that. They were trying to launch, like, OnlyFans TV, where it wasn't necessarily all horny content. But, you know, what's hilarious is that OnlyFans wouldn't accept my profile. But, like, Fansly would. You know, Xvideo, Pornhub, Fansly, they all took all of my, like, identification, and they were all cool with me making an account. But not OnlyFans. OnlyFans is like, this is not good enough. You need to prove who you are, and you need to provide like social media where you have 5 pictures in the last. It's some stupid ass standards they have over there. So yeah, so like I have a Fansly account where I probably will make some sort of content like I'm talking about. But not OnlyFans. OnlyFans won't do it for me. Even though this is the kind of content that they want. They want like stuff that's for adults, but not necessarily horny stuff. You know, they kind of want to expand their brand. It's like, I'm going to give you what you want, but you won't give me an account. Because, you know, I don't post enough of my face on social media. It's like, well, I'm sorry. It's just not what I do. I don't even plan on doing that on OnlyFans. Like I said, I'm just looking for a place where I can just have adults to talk to. That's it. You stopped watching it 6 years ago? Yeah. I mean, honestly, that kind of content rots your brain. As an adult, it rots your brain. Like, once you get away from that content, like the world that you see outside of the prank, you know, family-friendly content is a much different world. Heck, you know, I'm sure some people think, you know, my content rots your brain, and maybe they're right. But it's not rotting your brain the same way like the Paul brothers rot your brain. Or like Mr. Beast rots your brain. Maybe I shouldn't talk shit about Mr. Beast. Might come after me. Well, see, you guys, you got a just chatting session out of me. I wasn't planning on doing this kind of content on this platform ever. That's true. Nayef did start it, but, you know, it wasn't a bad conversation. I'm sure we'll run into this conversation here and there. Like I said, someday I'll tell you all my absolute worst stories. and you'll know why I have the attitude that I do, and why I'm not like considered like why I sort of shy away from like more conservative values. Just because that's a boring ass life. That is a boring ass life. You meet the most boring freaking people that are just into like super traditional lifestyles. It's like going to a party where it's all guys and everybody's wearing a suit and calling that a party. It's like, this is not a party. This is just a meeting that you attend that you don't get paid for. But I'm also not like a Gooner channel, right, where I only talk about Gooner things. I think that's maybe a little crazy. Maybe priorities in life. Yeah, maybe you need to re-examine them if that's the only thing that you think about. It's okay to think about it here and there, but like the only thing. Like, I'm not judging you, but damn, dude. Not judging you. I would say I don't want to ick your yum, but goddamn, that's really icky. I mean, I'm sorry. Whatever yummy things you want, I don't want to eat. I know. I mean, maybe somebody who like watches, like if they saw this as their first VOD on my channel, they'd go, man, this Gooner is crazy. Like, I'm not, seriously. I mean, it's just Luna looks good in this outfit, that's all. I do put her in other outfits. Ah, I'm in the box. No, get me out of the box. And quite frankly, I love this song. Developers being the real Gooners. I mean, these developers are Korean. So the Korean beauty standard and what's acceptable in Korea is different. I think you should bear that in mind. It's not like they don't know that it's a popular thing outside of Korea, but you know, Korean society is much different. Yeah, I mean, it is part of it, right? It is part of it that it makes money, but it is also that it's just different. I only happen to have knowledge of it because I'm going to move there. I mean, I think, to be fair, like, all the men are also, like, ideal-looking men. They just don't have the same outfits because, in real life, men also don't have the same variety of fashion. Right, like, every year, men's fashion is, like, a suit and maybe some shorts. And that's it. Year after year, that's what we get to wear. Whereas women, you know, they get to wear all sorts of things. And like a man who's wearing like a really revealing outfit is not considered a good-looking man, right? Like if a man is like has like a lot of their flesh exposed, I don't think, like, women don't consider that kind of flashiness sexy like we consider women being flashy sexy. Like, we have two different standards for sexy. Yeah, I don't know why that stat goes around, because most women who are on OnlyFans don't make money. It's only like a couple select women on OnlyFans, like the top models out there, that make money. Like, if you think about the number of people that are on OnlyFans, there's just no way that they make all that money. Like, all of them make a bunch of money because there's not enough people to support that kind of money making for every single person that has an account. In fact, most OnlyFans girls don't have more than like 10 subscribers. I mean, that's like the majority of the OnlyFans accounts, less than 10 subscribers. But the ones that have more than 10 subscribers, you know, they have like 50, 100, 1,000. I don't remember what the cutoff number is, but there's like a certain cutoff number where there's actually real money to be made. But it's a lot higher than you think. That's just one of those statistics that people throw out there that is part of like OnlyFans marketing, and also from the hater market, right? Because there's a market out there that just like loves to hate that somebody might be successful just showing their body. Again, this is my attitude about sex work, right? It's like, yeah, that really sucks if they can just show their body and make tons of money. It's like, well, that's actually not how it works. Because being an OnlyFans, at least being an OnlyFans model that makes a lot of money, it's a lot of work. Because that's a lot of talking you have to do. That's a lot of content you have to make. It's a lot of bullshit you have to put up with. I mean, most of us, if we had OnlyFans accounts, obviously, I don't have one because those guys are super annoying in the verification process. But if we were like, you know, trying to start off in OnlyFans and we had to make content with OnlyFans, none of us could do it. Extremely hard work. It's extremely annoying. It's time consuming. You know, you have to deal with all sorts of people that maybe you wouldn't want to deal with in real life. Right? I'm just saying, don't believe any of that stuff when they're talking about every girl making money off of OnlyFans. That's bullshit, quite frankly. That's marketing from OnlyFans telling people that. How do I know? Well, like I said, I run with a crowd that's not normal. And remember, I'm trying to get an OnlyFans account, so there's some information that I have that maybe you wouldn't get as just a user. Like, I don't even plan on putting like adult content on OnlyFans. Like, I plan on putting like the music videos from the band on there. Again, just because I can guarantee that adults are only going to see it. Like, I don't really care if anybody listens to my music that's, 10. If you're 10 years old, I don't want your money. Although you guys are probably going to wonder if I lost my marbles based on the first song we're going to release. But that's coming soon. I have to keep that under wraps, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just like people thinking like everybody that's on YouTube is making money. I can't tell you how many people will try to hit me up for money. They're UI designers, or they want to get make icons for me, or they want me to promote shares or whatever the stupid thing that they want to do. But it's like, I make no money off of this. It's like, yeah, I may have 800 subs, but that's not enough. That's not enough views. That's not enough people to make any money at YouTube. You need like a significant number of subscribers and a significant number of views, and views like of somebody watching the entire piece of content. If somebody like skips around on your video, YouTube gives you jack shit for money. That's why I always say that this channel is not for money, because the amount of views that I would have to get, and the amount of pandering and begging from people that I would have to do to make that happen is not worth my time. It's not worth your time either. Like I said, that's why I don't do it. That's why I don't tell you to like and subscribe and smash the notification bell. Even though that's what YouTube says I should do. It's like, well, screw that. I'm not gonna do that. Somebody wants to watch my channel, they can watch it. If they want to subscribe, they can subscribe. I don't need to tell them what to do. If they don't want to watch it, then they don't have to watch it either. Oh my god, this guy is so annoying. I should have picked Serena. I didn't know it was just going to be me and a bunny. Had I known, I would have got Serena here. Yeah. I mean, that's my side project. I do have a band. I mean, that's what I've been working towards. In fact, I'm going to shoot a music video here relatively soon. I mean, that's why I changed my username from autopostrophe to meowmurai. I mean, it's going to go with the band. So yeah, I have lots of things brewing up. A lot of things in the kitchen. Yeah, well, I would hope that you guys like it. You may not, but who knows? But we're not serious, so hopefully you're not expecting me to be a serious artist, 'cause that is definitely what I am not. You're not going to survive this, I swear. You know, I don't know if we'll earn any money. That's just really hard to say what people like and what people don't like. That's the thing about music, is that maybe something catches on, maybe something doesn't catch on. Like, we don't expect to make any money from the music either. I mean, we're all old, so we don't think this is going to replace our careers. None of us are quitting our jobs. We don't have that much confidence, you know. Yeah, who knows? I mean, if people like it, awesome. If they don't like it, that's fine. It's all right. I'll still be able to afford bread, I think. I don't know, the cost of bread's going up. Alright, see you later, Blue. It's probably time for me to go too. I'm playing way too late. Oh, Blue's not rich. Blue's one of the poor folk like the rest of us. Okay. Oh no, he's driving in a golf cart. He's not like a golf course owner. Yeah, I don't get the impression that he works at a golf course. But you use golf carts to go go around a property if it's a big piece of property. Oh, I was wondering why this bunny is doing what she's doing. Damn it. Oh my god, we're gonna have the hardest time with this boss. Korean band? Oh no. I mean, I will be singing in Korean, but I'll be singing in English too. Just depends on the song. Oh no, sorry. I only know 2 languages. Just English and Korean. That's it. I mean, that doesn't prevent me from singing in another language. Oh my god. Because singing and speaking are 2 different things. Basically, you know, you can sing an entire song and not know the language. Oh my god. Damn it. Just keep going after me. God. Turkish, huh? Yeah, unfortunately I don't know any German. I certainly don't know any Turkish. In fact, really, I only know like a tiny bit of French from when I took French in high school, but that's it. As far as like European languages. I'll probably have to learn a little bit of Japanese here and there. And a little bit of Mandarin in my time out there. But yeah, I don't think I necessarily have to know anything that's in the Romance languages. I don't think. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe we'll catch on in Germany, although I kind of doubt that. The music scene in Germany is very competitive. Yeah, time to go. You are correct. So why don't we stop it here? This is meowmurai. You've been watching the First Descendant running on PC. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream. My mouse works. There it goes.